Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 4 of me actually working on the oil painting, doing some drawing. Hello, I'm here. Okay. That's working. Now I need to get it set up on my phone. And oh no, where's my iPad? Tell you what, the setup every morning for this just it takes a little bit too long. So for me, what part of what you can't see is I'm working off my iPad. I'm looking at the corrected image that we did yesterday, which has a bunch of yellow lines all over it, so you can see that, hopefully, within the stream. And on my phone here, I pull up my channel and I actually just watch the stream just like you guys are watching it. So I can look at comments and things like that. I pull up my channel and I actually just watch. And I have to turn down my phone because I actually hear myself. Thinker says, I'm still here. And good afternoon, Ulan. Hope you guys are well this morning. Oh, Google backup. Yeah, let me do that real quick. Thanks, Thinker. Yeah, this is a process that definitely needs a checklist. Definitely needs a checklist every morning. Kind of like a pre-flight checklist for before I take off, right? So just to check and make sure that everything was gonna go correctly during the stream, I did a little bit of drawing yesterday on the tiger. And you can see like right around in here and this eye, it's a lot darker. Yeah, that's what I was drawing. Just correcting some of those images, some of the stripes for the tiger. And I'm going to focus mainly on the head this morning. Hopefully we can get done with the head today. As far as the corrections, I think we should be able to. And the rest of it tomorrow. Because just like when we did our initial drawing for this, it didn't take near as long for the rest of the body drawing than it did the head. So I'm going to move out to the outlines here. Yeah, just holding my iPad, just looking down at these yellow lines and seeing the corrections I want to make. And I'm not being too super exact with this, just getting a better understanding of, the shapes and all that. I definitely made the tiger's head a bit too wide there, which is interesting. What's nice about this is you can use this phase of the drawing to make any kind of changes you want. Anything that you think would be better in some way. And this is my first time using charcoal. I kind of like it, how dark it can get. My first pass through, I actually was drawing pretty lightly, so I didn't press very hard. Now I'm actually pressing pretty hard to get these darker lines on here. So that's really important. If you're doing your first, first pass through on the drawing, don't draw that hard. That way it's easier to see your corrections afterwards. Don't have to do as much erasing. Head looks pretty good up there. Got that forehead. This ear is a bit far off from what we want. Hey, to be honest, I don't think my initial drawing was really that far off. I mean, it wasn't so far off that it would have been a huge issue to continue with, honestly. I do think the nose was, all of the nose and the muzzle was probably the biggest issue that we would deal with if I just kept the drawing the way it was. I like doing the corrections. I like, you know, getting this phase figured out really well so that when I get into painting, it's another thing I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about as much, honestly. I mean, because you will always have to do some kind of drawing. Now, around the eyes here, I want to make sure that I get everything spot on, though. That's the most important. Did really good with this eye. I mean, it's right on. Of course, we lined up the image with this eye. We removed all the distortion from the image. Doesn't, well, most of it doesn't mean that there wasn't some distortion that was happening, even after we did all the corrections in Lightroom and things like that. And just taking my time. Trying not to get in too much of a rush on this, even though I'm on a stream and I want it to be, you know, impactful for you guys. And in a lot of instances, especially with this this tiger, I mean, there's so many stripes and different lines everywhere. Adding in some shadow here, you know, filling in a little bit to differentiate stripes from non-stripe areas is going to be really helpful. I also have the original image on my iPad, so what I'll do sometimes is go back and forth from the corrected image with all the lines over it to our original digital image to get an understanding of what is what. Because a lot of times you just see the lines and you're like, okay, what am I looking at here? I just see the lines, but I'm not sure what that should be exactly. So having both images is helpful. Normally when I do something like this, I have it on my computer screen, and I'm looking at my computer screen, and it's somewhat easier to go back and forth between the images. And the image is a lot larger as well. But this works too. I kind of like this because I can get, like I'm holding my iPad. You can probably see that. Hey, you can see my reflection. Hi. I'm holding my iPad in my hand, and I can really get up close to it, which is pretty nice. Okay. So let's zoom out again. Actually, let's focus on this nose here. One thing that I want to see is we have a corrected line there that looks a little bit odd, that I may smooth out a little bit. Not sure how far off I was on that. Actually, the top line of the nose is really good. It's the front of the nose that has issues. You know, I wonder if this is easier than projecting. Like if I project an image, because when you project an image, you're projecting all of its detail. So, you know, all of the color, all of the values, you know, you don't have any definite lines everywhere. So if I had a projector, I'm thinking that it wouldn't be as easy to kind of understand everything, honestly. Actually, I will say that if it was on my computer, you know, because I would have it as a layered Krita file, okay? And it would be easier because what I would do would turn the corrected layer, the yellow line layer, and I would turn the image of the tiger on and off so that I could see the digital version that we worked up underneath of it. And that would give me just a really good understanding of, you know, what those lines really mean sometimes. But this is okay too. It's challenging. It's a little bit outside my comfort zone, and I think that's where I want to be all the time. Is always outside of my comfort zone. It's uncomfortable by nature, but it's where you can grow as an artist, definitely. Outside of the comfort zone and into your growth zone by getting a little bit uncomfortable. So if you're feeling that, if you're doing a drawing of something, if you're doing a painting of something, and it's just not feeling right, you're at that uncomfortable stage. You know, see it as that. See it as you're working on something that's difficult, and that's exactly where you're supposed to be. And a lot of times there's, you know, with this method, there is kind of a, a lack of freedom in some ways, a lack of kind of like serendipitous mistakes that can happen. It is very exact, it's very practical, but it lacks some freedom to it. I enjoy the method, but sometimes it's like, okay, I don't need this right now. I just want to get away from it and just have some fun, and that's good too. The one thing I will say is I wouldn't work up these values. Like I'm adding some darker value and within these stripes that I'm working on. And I wouldn't do this in lighter areas, honestly. Because I am certain, if I was doing if I had a very light area, maybe the orange of the skin or the hair or something like that, I would be afraid that this charcoal would mix with the lighter paint and, give me some trouble as far as getting those values right, or the color right, or the hue, saturation. It would affect a lot of that. So I want to stay away from that in some instances. But I do know that all of these stripes are pretty dark, so I'm gonna work those up in a darker value so it's easier for me to see what's going on. Okay, let's go back to the outside of the head, which for the most part is okay. I'm pretty happy with, the beginning of the drawing, at least with the head. I know that when we get down into the feet, the paws and all that I got some issues, some larger issues there. But with all this up here, man, yeah. Pretty good. Pretty close. Close enough. Close enough to make a good painting out of it. Close enough to not spend 90% of my time correcting. Okay, back into the stripes again. I'm going to focus on the stripes around the eyes, at least the ones that I have corrections for. And then the rest of them, I'm going to put in quickly and freely without, because I don't have corrections for all of them. I do have an indication here of where the brow turns over, right there, and that's going to be important for painting and indicating a change in value there that needs to happen. Boy, it's just a mess of lines right here. I need to clean this up. Yeah, I wouldn't have filled in a lot of these lines at the beginning. I mean, imagine if I started, my initial drawing and I started shading in a lot of these stripes. I could have been really wrong on, which I am. I'm very off on some of these. And moving all of that charcoal around on a oil-based canvas would be really difficult. And that's another thing. I don't want to put too much charcoal down. In between oil layers, I haven't done any research on that. I don't want it to affect my paint layers at all. I'm pretty sure it will be good. When I think about Rembrandt and how he mixed crushed glass within his paint. I think it would just, as I'm painting, it will mix in with the paint. And we'll be fine. It'll become part of the paint, just like another little medium. A dark medium, yeah. Boy, even though I have these lines on, I'm still going back and forth from the tiger painting, the digital painting, the full digital painting, and our corrected tiger lines, because it's difficult to understand still which is which. But honestly, over here on this side, it just turns into, a mass of dark stuff. Like all through that. And this is something I can do that no problem within paint itself. All right, let's go back to the other side. I was thinking that I'd be able to get started painting on Friday, but that was probably a bit off on those estimations. Probably Saturday, begin painting, hopefully. I assume you'll still be using the digital workup for hue, saturation, and value. And no, oil probably not tomorrow, because I don't see getting this entire drawing fixed today. Yeah, I'll be using, I'll be looking at, my digital screen for all of the color, all the aspects of color for this, definitely. I mean, will there be changes? Yeah, there's definitely going to be changes within that. And I'm getting really confused over in here. I made some lines and I don't know which is which. I did not make really good indications over here. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this goes up like this. I'm gonna wing this a little bit. This goes down here. Yeah, like that. Okay, and that should be pretty easy to do with oil paint. On that side, oops. Okay. There's a whole bunch going on right here. And I'm trying to figure out that now. I have this. I'm just gonna trust my lines. Sorry, focusing right now, so not talking so much. You can tell when it gets hard for me because I'm not talking very much. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Pretty darn good so far. There's a bunch of little stripes here, which should be fine to put in. No problem. Okay, gonna make up some stripes here. I'm pretty close on these anyways. Not a big deal. Right there. Ooh, I'm getting warm. Holy cow. Working hard. My one arm suspended consistently. Shoulders burning. And I got the sweatshirt on because, you know, it's somewhat cold here, but yeah, I'm definitely warmed up now. I'm going to be taking this sweatshirt off in a second. I want to get some of these lines on the these stripes on the forehead down. Okay, let's look and see if I'm missing anything major. If not, we'll probably move on. Yeah, 35 minutes in. Maybe we will get most of this drawing done. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's gonna work. Okay, why do you think it's so hard for you? Well, that's a really good question. I have to explain that. Give me a second while I take off this sweatshirt. And I need to move the canvas around. You know, the main reason it's difficult is because this is kind of a different setup for me. And I'm at the side of the canvas, kind of off to the side and leaning over. So it's kind of physically difficult. So there's a lot of aches and things going on. Okay, I moved the canvas up. All right. And this is where a lot of movement with the canvas is going to happen, guys, because this goes pretty quickly. And I'm a bit too zoomed in for you. Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, moving the makeup of the stream around in OBS is not so easy, honestly. So just bear with me on those movements. I want you guys to see everything that I do here. Doing the outside left line of the tiger, which is just about right on. It's a little bit too thick on this side. I can see from my line, my corrections. The stripe is pretty good. I want to make sure that I describe the side, like the curvature of the body really well. So I want to get this stripe as close as I can. This one here comes down a bit. Can you do painting of character from movies? Sure. Will I? Probably not. I did a bunch of drawings of kind of like a fan fiction thing. It was for a book that me and my wife was creating, but then we realized that we couldn't publish it without running into just a ton of copyright issues. So I had all these drawings that I couldn't really do much with, but I learned a ton from them, so they were still good. So if I do, paintings from movies or something like that, let's say Lord of the Rings, maybe I do Ian McKellen as Gandalf, right? I couldn't really sell it. It would just be for my own amusement and things like that. And honestly, if I'm going to do something like that, I want to leverage my time as best as possible. And any of these paintings that I can do that I could also sell and provide another revenue stream, something that I love to do and I could sell is, higher leverage for me. It's kind of like, a Venn diagram. You want to make art that you love. That's number one. Then you also want to make art that people want to buy, something that provides value to others. That's the second part of the Venn diagram. And the third part is something that you are skilled enough to do. So if you can get into the sweet spot, the center of those three circles of this Venn diagram, then it's really nice. So yeah, I mean, honestly, if you have the skill, if you've built up the skill over time, you could paint and draw anything you want. It just depends on what else you want to do with it. I think the fan art is wonderful. There's so many artists out there that are very motivated about, doing fan art. And that motivation is so important. So even if you can't sell it, but you're super motivated about it, I would say go ahead and do it. Because it's more important that you're creating, that you're doing something you love to do. That's the very first part of the Venn diagram. Make sure you get into that circle first. And then eventually find, how it can provide value to others. And a lot of times it doesn't have to be selling it. Let's say you do, and I'm thinking about this for myself now, like maybe I do a painting from, a superhero or something from a movie. I could still maybe use that to influence others to maybe check out my other artwork, watch my tutorials like this, provide value in other ways. Okay, what else can you see? You can see all the way to here. So let's get some of those stripes in before I move anything. I hope that answered your question well. And thanks for joining the stream, Adam. So if you're on the stream and you haven't seen it yet, this is, I think it's video number 55 or something like that. We're in the 50s for the traditional and digital live stream. And we've started this entire process. Actually, I began this part of the live stream with, a tutorial in Krita, a free digital software, which I love. I think it's wonderful for anybody to jump into and learn digital. And so that's where we started. Then I went through a whole, I don't know how many days on composition, which is so important. And then we began the soup to nuts painting. We developed an idea. It took me a couple days to figure out an idea with the help of my wife. She gave me this idea of perseverance through a tiger. Tigers are only successful about 4% of the time when they hunt, yet they keep going, and they're a really great source of perseverance. So whatever your dream is, keep going, keep trying, keep hunting for it. And we began working up the idea in a design process document, which is part of the resources that you can download. You can see that link in the description. Actually, every Krita document that I worked on for the past, 50 some streams is available for download. And we built up this tiger from nothing to a finished digital painting, and now brought it into the real world and creating an oil painting out of it. Okay, I have exhausted how much you guys can see, and moving things around here is going to be difficult because I can't go further down on my tripod and my mic is in the way to go further up. Let's see what I can do. I'm going to try facing my camera down, so you guys are going to be at a strange angle, and I apologize. You're going to kind of be looking down on everything. And it's getting kind of dark down there too. So let me increase my ISO, which I cannot. Oh, I can't do that while I'm streaming. Well, that's annoying. Let's see, let me tilt my canvas back a bit. Oh, there you go. Maybe I can do that. Let's see. Just give me a second, guys. Introducing some complexity with real painting. Okay, everything should be lined up now. What more needs to be done before you start painting? Just fixing this drawing. That's it. As soon as I get this drawing fixed, just, you know, as I'm going over it right now, as far as that's concerned, I definitely want to fix these paws up down here. I think that's the most important thing. And then I'll quickly look at the palm fronds after the body. Yeah, I might be able to finish it today. Let's get to it. Okay, first the outline of the legs and everything starts here. Oh, I got it correct down here, but the rest of it doesn't work very well. Yeah, we go into there. And this is where I'm way off on the drawing. So if you get a chance, you know, while I was talking about it, if you get a chance, and if you're interested in all the digital downloads, check out my Gumroad. Link in the description. You can get half off by using the code CB50OFF. But I have a limit on that. Only 100 people can do that. So that's a very limited thing to get half off. CB50OFF for that, and you'll get like 50 days of all of the resources for this stream. And as soon as that code is used 100 times, it's going to be 100% price. So, which is still not that much, honestly. $10, $20, I think. I think I just raised it recently. I have been raising my prices on things, especially as this grows, the price is going to go up. So once you buy it, you get everything from here, you know, for the entire stream. I'm not sure how much more I'm going to upload to it because I'm working traditionally, but I just did a fix, the overlay fix for the tiger, and so that upload is up there. So check that out. If not, continue showing up on the stream. I'll be here doing new things all the time. Or watch the videos when they get turned into videos on demand and YouTube. And the other thing, you know, if you think what I'm doing here is valuable and interesting, and I'm providing value to you, thank you so much for that. But if you think that I'm providing some good value, please let others know. You know, always looking to help others in some way. That's my purpose here, is to help artists become better versions of themselves, whatever that is. And I love answering questions. I love helping out other artists in some way to increase their skill level, to increase their motivation, to get them painting, drawing, creating. We can't have enough creators in this world. Actually, this Paul isn't too far off. You know what's funny is, as I'm moving the image on the iPad around, I feel like I want to do the same thing with the canvas. Like, oh, why don't this move around? That's an indication that I've been in digital for too long. I need to get to traditional. And I love the connection between the two that you can make. Too often artists think that, oh, you know, digital is one realm and traditional is another realm. And you can't really combine the two, you know. It's just, there's no way. But, you know, and that's what we're going over in this live stream is, you know, ways you can use either one to inform each other. Digital to improve your traditional, and traditional to improve your digital. That kind of works with everything, right? I mean, who says that you can't start an oil painting in acrylic and then finish it in oil? Or maybe a watercolor painting and then finish it in oil. I'm not sure how that would work, but that'd be pretty interesting. Those kind of combinations would be fantastic. You know, maybe you do a really fantastic drawing in ink on a gessoed canvas, and then you add oil to it in some way. You know, kind of opening up this idea that you're not stuck into one medium, that they can be combined and they can inform each other. Maybe make something brand new that no one else has ever seen before. Sorry, you may not see some of the lines that I'm going to be doing on the back side of this tiger. The back leg. Just fixing some of the stripes here. These lines are pretty darn close. So not a lot of changes there anyways. Again, I'm pressing pretty darn hard to get these dark lines as well. Not too hard to break the point on my charcoal pencil though. They're a pain to sharpen, let me tell you. I remember I used to work in like a vine charcoal. I'm sure you guys know what vine charcoal is, but you know, they're just sticks that have been burnt basically. And you have to make your own points with them. It's really hard to get like exact drawing. And I always wanted to get more exact drawing with them, which is probably not, you know, really not the purpose for them anyways. And I would always sit there and try and sharpen those things to get, you know, a point to them. And then, you know, you make 3 strokes on those little vine charcoals and the point is gone. You'd have to resharpen it over again. So I eventually found these Conte Aperis 1710 pencils. Okay, we're gonna move over. Yeah, up and over. And this is going to be really quick. Tiger tail. Let's put that in there. And then I'll probably move back to the other side. Let me see. Yeah, let's look at that palm frond real quick. I mean, this is one of those things like leaves and stuff. I don't need to get so exact on this drawing, honestly. Just I'm gonna have fun with that when we get to it. And as far as the other palm fronds are concerned, I don't think I'm going to do any correction on their drawings from here. I'm going to bring this canvas back down. Let's see where we're at. Kind of a crazy angle for you guys. Sorry about that. There we go. That's a bit better. Oh wow, we just hit 1 hour. Thinker says, during this correction, are you referring to the grid lines at all or just the initial drawing? Just the drawing and the corrections that I make. Yeah. I don't know, after that, the grid, after that first initial drawing, I don't use the grid at all. I mean, maybe there's some things, like depending on if you get really detailed in some places, maybe there's some places where you can look, oh, well, this line is crossing through the grid, or my corrected line is crossing through the grid in this way. So every line on the canvas does help inform, you know, the difference between the correction and what your initial drawing was like. But do I look at them specifically all the time? You know, not so much, no. Yeah. I'm throwing some of these in here. I really want to redo this part of the palm frond anyways. Get some gesture in there, just, you know, have some fun with it. That's going to be fun. Okay, so yeah, the corrected drawing's done, guys. I don't think I need more than that. Your angle, actually I'm looking at the angle that you're looking at for the muzzle, and it looks terrible. It looks like kind of, it looks misshapen, basically. Make sure I got the drawing pretty good from the corrections. Yeah, it's actually, it's there. I got all my corrections in. A lot of times, you know, the halftones and the value changes really gives an understanding of how everything goes. But we'll see. This isn't the only time I'll make corrections. You know, after the oil paint goes in, there's going to be a time when maybe I get the head pretty far along, and that's the very first thing I'm going to start with. When I paint, it's going to be just detail on the head. Maybe we work on that for a few streams and get all the drawing and the painting of the head looking really good. And do some corrections, some changes, maybe look at it again digitally, see what we can correct in that way, and then go from there. So you never know. I mean, but I'll take it as it comes, with the main idea of coming out with a painting that is the best that we can complete, you know, the best we can do. And yeah, I like starting with the subject, the initial subject matter right away. So that's what you'll see tomorrow is going to be me painting directly on the head of the tiger right away. I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, I got to do the background first. And the reason why many artists do that is because they're worried about the edges here. You know, paint the background so you can paint these edges over it. But there's all this background everywhere, okay? Why do I need to do all that because I'm thinking about, you know, these few edges? You know, it doesn't make sense to me. What I can do is I can paint my foreground, I can paint my background later, and then just mess with the edges a little bit afterwards. And you can get there no problem. Actually, this charcoal is smudging a lot. Look at, like, right onto my fingers. So that will move around. It won't move around a lot. I bet you if I do this, I bet you it's really loud. It gets, you know, my hands dirty, but the drawing's still there. So it gives a good indication of how that charcoal really sticks. Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. Thank you, Ulan, Adam, and Thinker for showing up. And I will have to change my entire setup today to prepare for oil painting tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm super excited. And I will see you guys there. Have a wonderful day.